Hi, I'm JT, and I've been an avid skier for over 50 years. And in those 50 years, I've seen a lot of things change. I've seen equipment advances. I've seen changes in ski technique. I've seen changes in the way skiing is taught. I've worked in the ski industry, so I understand a lot about equipment in terms of how that works. I've worked as a ski instructor, and I can't tell you how many people I've taught how to ski over the years, but I've figured out that there's one thing that I believe to be very important that is not taught by ski schools, and I don't see it being taught by friends or family members. And I think it's a really important piece of the puzzle. And that piece of the puzzle is how a ski works. Most people just think a ski is kind of like a big butter knife and you smear it around on the hill as you ski. And that can be done, but that is by far the hard way to do it. A ski is actually a very highly advanced, highly technical piece of equipment that makes a turn for you if you understand the controls. And skis have controls. Now, they're not levers and buttons and dials like maybe you would think of it, controls in your car, but skis have controls. And if you don't understand the way those controls work, then you're going to struggle. And so to me, it's kind of like if you were a learning skier and the instructor, and you're going to learn not skiing, let's say you're going to learn how to fly a helicopter. Let's try that one. And the instructor says, okay, you get in that helicopter, I'll get in this one, follow me. And I think that's what I mostly see up on the hill in terms of people teaching you how to ski. And they'll yell things like, get more forward, put your weight on the front of the skis, and various things like that. But if you don't, like I said, if you don't understand the way the controls work, then you're going to struggle. So here's a ski. Let me start with that. And a ski has a very specific shape. It's widest up here. It's narrowest in the middle, and then again, it's wider back here. And it also has a certain amount, most skis, not all of them, but most skis have a certain amount of camber or arc this way, as well as, of course, a little bit of a turn up of the tip. And I'm going to use this as my teaching ski. So again, here's your shovel. The widest part of the ski is up here. It gets a little narrower here in the middle and then wider in the tail. And then it has a little bit of an arc camber, right? Kind of like a leaf spring in a car. Now, the way this works is these skis have, let's call it a sweet spot. Maybe you've heard of a sweet spot if you play tennis. And in a tennis racket, the bigger that sweet spot is, then the easier it is to hit that ball where you want to hit it. Well, skis have a sweet spot, although it might not be as large as you would hope it to be. But skis have a sweet spot. And basically what you do to make a ski turn, let me show you on the ski slope over here. Your ski, you can see the arc, I think, right there. When you press the camber out of that ski by applying weight, it creates an arc. And if you place, let's say the sweet spot's right here, if you place your weight on the sweet spot and press the camber out of the ski can do only one thing, and that's make a turn. It will carve or turn in a circle. And so you can see, if you look at a modern ski, they'll actually put the turn radius or the length of the turn. It will be printed on the ski. It might be 11 meters, it might be 18 meters, whatever it is. But that refers to that arc that the ski will make all by itself if you put weight in the right spot and ride that ski, essentially. So that's how a ski works. And it sounds very simple. Okay, you just stand on the ski and put it on edge and away you go, right? So that's the problem. That's the hard part, okay? So your job as a skier is to stand on the right spot on the ski, on the sweet spot. The mountain has a completely different job, and that's to make sure you don't stand on the sweet spot. It's going to do everything it can to throw you back on your tails, throw you off balance, pitch you forward. And so your job is harder than it sounds, but the starting point is understanding where you need to be on the ski. So here's the best analogy I can give you. Think of a sport that maybe you played or that you've watched. It could be tennis, it could be baseball, it could be anything. Let's pick tennis, okay? So let's say you're going to receive a serve from your opponent. What is your stance like at the end of the court? Ready? No. Your stance is going to be like this, isn't it? You're going to have the racket here. You're going to have your weight on the balls of your feet. And you're going to be ready to move in any direction at any moment. Let's say you're a baseball player. You're a second baseman. The pitcher's about to throw the ball. What's your stance like? Ready for the ball to come like this, right? No. Your stance is exactly the same stance as being a tennis match, isn't it? You've got your weight on the balls of your feet. You're ready to move in any direction. And it's exactly the same on the slopes. So the power steering button, I'll call it, the sweet spot on the ski, is controlled by your first metatarsal. And so that's the big knuckle at the base of your big toe. And that's where you want to put weight. Now, something you can do to kind of practice this is to get into your stance, into your skiing stance, tennis stance, whatever you want to call it. Get into your stance, close your eyes, and feel the bottoms of your feet. Now, if you rock back a little bit, you'll feel the pressure move onto your heels. Bad spot. You rock forward, you can feel it onto the arch, then the ball of the foot. And if you keep going, you're going to fall on your face, right? So again, the mountain's job is to throw you off that spot. Your job is to stay as close as you can to that spot all the time. And it's a struggle because the mountain is very good at its job. It knows its job really, really well, and it's got a big advantage on you. So that's where you start right there. Now the next step is understanding how to maximize your control over the ski. Okay, that's getting control, but now you got to maximize your control over the ski. And that's speed control, that's body position, that's edging, how much you're going to edge, various things like that. So real briefly, I'm going to go into this in another second video here, but on your ski, stand on that sweet spot right there. If you move slightly forward, it will tighten the arc pretty dramatically. If you come slightly back onto your heels, the ski goes straight. Bad thing. So think about, you've got a pickup truck. You've got a big trailer on the back of the pickup truck, and the trailer is too heavy for your pickup truck. So right in the middle there, you've got the tongue of the trailer and the hitch on the truck. And if you put too much weight there, it lifts the front wheel, takes pressure off the front wheels. Now try and steer that truck if the wheels are off the ground, right? You can't do it. Well, if you're standing on your heels on your ski, it's like your front wheels are up in the air and you can't steer. So you got to come back to that position. And the best way to do it is to practice feeling the bottom of your foot. Feel the bottom of your foot. Feel where the pressure is on the bottom of your foot. Okay, we'll pick up on this on part 2, which is titled, If You Can Walk, You Can Ski. And that's the truth.